Hey guys, Deathslayer Magic here, and that's right, Wizards just added a completely new format to Arena. It sounds like they're trying to do Standard, but with everything fixed and with more rapid adapting ban lists, but then they're just gonna leave Standard, which means Standard will never get fixed. That'll probably kill Paper, but let's just start with where this came from, because they've been creeping this direction for quite a while. So last I heard from Wizards, around 97 to 98% of matches on Arena are best of one. Best of one isn't even a thing at Friday Night Magic. It's always best of three because sideboard. The sideboard is like almost the most important thing to the game. And I mean, best of three, yeah, you get just like bad luck, bad draws. I mean, the fact that lands are even cards in the deck is the fundamental number one problem with Magic. So if that doesn't go well, you get stuck at 2 and lose because of it, at least you should get 2 more chances. So it's really important, but nobody has time, and I don't want to play against somebody with a toxic deck or a slow-playing jerk for 3 games, let alone 1. So everybody jumped on best of 1. So best of 1, if you're not familiar, has its own sideboard limit of 7. You can only have a 7-card sideboard because there is no sideboard. So it was just grab this card from outside the game, which really just was beloved by the community. And I think at one point it had its own ban list. I think they tried that like one time. But then also those A-series cards, I heard those are only legal in best of 1, not best of 3. So best of 3 standard is actually standard constructed. That's what it like really actually is. Best of 1 on Arena, it's kind of its own thing. They added like 50 to 100 more cards to it, claiming, oh, they're just from the tutorial. And they're all like hyper power cards that like you need to win with. Nah, they've been pushing for Arena to be its own thing for a long time now, and I'm not surprised they went this way. So what is Alchemy? It's exactly the same as standard constructed, but with all this perpetually crap added and draft a card stuff and everything that people just overwhelmingly hated from Historic that they tried to sneak in. Before I accidentally give you the impression that this is a good idea, here's a card they're adding. Patient Zero. 2 cost 2/2, creature zombie, asshole 22 set. Or I've also heard the A stands for Arena Runers. I've heard both. I've heard it both ways. Lifelink. Okay, black doesn't have enough lifelinkers right now. I'm on board until they said damage isn't removed from creatures your opponents control during cleanup steps. Excuse me, what? Isn't that like Wither or something? I know Infect works that way, but you know, it's the old thing, all damage is done in -1/-1 counters, and everybody hated that, so they did that with this. So until this leaves play, none of your creatures heal their damage at the end step. So if you are a 6/6 and you take 2 damage, you have 2 damage. You are effectively now basically a 4 toughness creature. I don't ever want to see this in any game I'm ever playing on any platform ever, and the fact that it's digital and I can't threaten the person with a weapon or punch them in the face actually angers me before they've even implemented this, because that card is 100% pure cancer for 2. If it was like 7, I'd be like, oh, go for it. Sounds fun. At least you'll have to try to get it out and won't have it on turn 2. You know Blue Black Zombies is resurrecting this. So that's one of the cards they're adding. That's a brand new thing. They're adding 63 cards and then even more. I mean, I was going to read their whole announcement, but you get the gist of it. I'm not going to give them their little marketing spin the way they phrased it. I tell it like it is. Subscribe if you appreciate that. I mean, they're all, hey, you can buy a super cheap bundle for like nothing. That'll get you a whole bunch of packs. And right when we launch it, the second you log in, you'll get, 3 Alchemy boosters for free, which is literally just like if you type in like play and then the name of the set, you get 3 anyway for standard. Come on. 6 rare ICRs. Oh boy. And 1 mythic ICR. So they're arranged in alchemy packs. You can open them. I mean, there's only 63 cards. Okay, cool, whatever. But, and they're only 1,000 coins or however many gems. Basically, a pack of 15 is like 3,000 gems. So the exact same price as standard. Now, standard is too expensive, and I think that drove more people away than the crap state of standard, to be honest. I mean, they're monetizing the game so wrong. The game is too expensive, but then you got the people playing for free, like forever, like me and a ton of other people. And believe it or not, Wizard staff has mentioned that too many people are playing for free. They've actually let that slip in certain announcements before, which is hilarious. So now they're adding this. Now, Historic, if you wanted to build anything in Historic, get out like a couple $100 bills, because, I mean, just in one drop, not even like an anthology, but just like, what was that? Jumpstart and then the other one? Oh, other Jumpstart. Jumpstart Historic, they called it. There was like 800 cards. You're never going to open them. It's just open dummy cards, dummy packs of shit you might need, and then you might get enough, rare wild cards to get a mana base. It's just Historic costs probably more than Modern does at this point. They need to take the cost of Standard and cut it bare minimum in half, and this was their shot at it, and they didn't do it. So the other major thing besides new cards is they're going to have rebalancing. So take a look at this Wizards class here. They're making the third tier 2 cheaper, as you can see. And then they'll say this is like the Arena edition, or Alchemy edition, I guess it would be. Kind of synonymous. If that's what they're really doing, like, really, not enough people played this toxic shit in the toxic archetypes that it's in. Like, this is a turns deck card. So they keep saying, oh, we're just gonna modify some cards, we're gonna rebalance it, and like a week or two after the release of every standard set, we'll start tweaking Alchemy versions of the cards, which is just fixing all of Wizards' mistakes, because I assume the developers came up with this idea and they're gonna rebalance it quicker. Remember, they used to have these things where, what do they call it? Like, a mix-up or a change-up or whatever event where the ban list was like 24 cards, and they're like, oh, it's just a what-if scenario where we give other decks time to shine, and it's like, no, here's what it would be if we the Arena devs were in charge of the ban list instead of Wizard staff. I mean, I'm not saying they're third-party contractors or anything, but I heard they work in a different state, so they might as well be. But maybe it is some Wizards people managing this. I don't know. Who knows? And I thought to myself, well, is this better than just doing nothing and letting standards still be crap, and every time there's a critical problem, they take 6 months to finally pull the trigger on a ban? And by that point, everybody left. And if you haven't seen the active user count on Arena, it's like right around 2/3 to like 75% of all players have left. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's just that simple. They have lost probably more than 1 million players. So they're just like watching the plane crash, and they're like, is there anything we can do to pull up? I don't know, make something where we can ban shit quicker. And by ban, they mean not ban. I mean, it's like certain things need to go right now. Like Lier, what are you going to make him cost 1 more mana? That'll do nothing. Absolutely nothing. But if they took one of the turns cards and said, you take an extra turn, and then after that, they patched in and take 10 damage, wouldn't that be fun? Or just erase the part about getting birds. It's like, well, why don't they just ban the damn card? Because then nobody would play it. So it's just this psychological manipulation game that they're playing where they're like, we didn't ban the card, we just tweaked it a little tiny bit, and now you can't play it and the deck's not competitive. It's the same result, but they think people are that damn stupid, and honestly, net deckers are that stupid. So I'm hopeful, except, well, let's just say until I saw the spoiler list so far, oh my god. Let's jump into that. All right, so like first up, we've got Captain Eberhart. So 1/1 for 2 in white, legendary creature, human soldier with double strike. So obviously white needed this. Spells cast from among cards you drew this turn cost 1 less to cast, because white just dumped your hand wasn't bad enough already. You need Luminarch on turn, well, I guess not 1, but more of them on turn 3. So spells cast from among cards your opponents drew this turn cost 1 more to cast. A spell jamming, double striking asshole when we already have too many 2-cost white creatures. And white's only problem playing like black-white Valkyries full blown is mana availability, and then they add him. My god, is this going to be a nightmare. All right, absorb energy. 3-cost double blue instant, counter target spell. Oh, great. Cards in your hand that share a card type with this spell perpetually. Oh, it is called perpetually. This spell costs 1 less to cast. So screw them over while improving your situation. This is now basically the most powerful counterspell ever printed in the history of the game. Except for literally counterspell, and even that's arguable. Because you can sit there and counter for, 1 less mana 1 time, or you can lower the cost of like your entire hand. Yeah, this is the most powerful counterspell ever printed. I can't think of anything better than this. Even Render Silent, not even close. Because the ongoing value of this is ridiculous. Although it's not cards always in your hand, it's cards in your hand right now. But then Lier, because it goes to the graveyard and then gains flashback equivalent to its cost is reduced, and it's perpetually, which is why perpetually is complete ass. So now they can cast bounce effects for 1. Woo! This is unbelievable. Geist Channeler, we got a 1/3 for 2. Human Wizard, when it enters battlefield, choose an instant or sorcery card in your hand with mana value 3 or greater. It perpetually gains. This spell costs 2 less to cast. So it's like a treasure token, but worse because they can't destroy the treasure token. Oh my god, moving on. Teralf's Disciple, 3-cost 3/3 with haste, red, human warrior. Great, another equipment card. They're just upgrading tier 1. I don't even know what this was supposed to do. This is such bullshit. When this asshole attacks, conjure 4 cards named Lightning Bolt into your library, then shuffle. You get 4 copies of Lightning Bolt. You have got to be kidding me, Wizards. F*** this. Next up, Ishkana, Broodmother, 3/5 for 4, reach. Other spiders you control get +1/+2. I thought this was a reprint, but I don't know. We've had Ishkanas before. Pay 1+ hybrid, exile 2 cards from your graveyard, draft a card. Well, that we haven't had, obviously. From Ishkana, Broodmother's spellbook. So, couldn't tell you what that is, but it's probably complete ass. Next up, begin anew, because we needed another board wipe. But this one's worse. Okay, double white, double greens, that's pretty harsh, sorcery great, but destroy all creatures, creature cards in your hand perpetually get +1/+1. So if you're gonna, absolutely dump on them after this board wipe, they're gonna get bigger forever and there's nothing they can do to stop it. You can't just take out the Lord's card, you can't take out the booster. Nope. Hell, they resurrect the damn thing, it's still +1/+1. That's why people hate perpetually. And they know this. They know people hate it. And they put it on 5 more cards? Next up, Gitrog, Horror of what the is, I don't even care. 1, that's not the Gitrog monster, and 2, where the hell is whatever that says. So 6/6 for 4 with Menace, great. At the beginning of each combat, if Gitrog, Horror of wherever the hell is untapped, any opponent may sacrifice a creature. If they do, tap it. Okay, that's really similar to the actual Gitrog. Then seek a land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Okay, so it's just a tutor, but like a super tutor. Or no, a limited tutor, the opposite. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, when will that maybe happen? It perpetually gains, pay 1 black, 1 green, tap it, sack this land, draw a card. That's actually not that bad, but this is a 6/6 for 4 with Menace. Next up, Omnomnominous Traveler, travel into the buffet to get a 3rd plate. 2 costs, 1/1, creature, human. ETB, draft a card from a spell book, so I could only imagine. And you may spend mana as though it were in mana of any color to cast a spell, and when you cast a spell, return a creature named Ominous Traveler to you control to its owner's hand. Great. Forsaken Crossroads, another rare land. Great. It enters tapped, and when it enters the battlefield, choose a color. When it enters the battlefield, also scry 1. If you weren't the starting player, actually, that I don't mind that phrase being on a couple cards, just saying, considering I go first 18% of the time, the last 1,000 games I tracked. You may untap Forsaken Crossroads instead. Well, that's basically nothing. Then add 1 mana of the chosen color. All right, whatever. And that's it. So, holy shit, that is the worst pile of toxic game-ruining garbage I have ever seen in my life. They just basically cloned Standard and made Standard into Historic because they ruined Historic by turning it into Vintage, almost. I mean, they built Charbelcher, Thassa's Win the Game Asshole Edition. Yeah, this is an okay idea where I'm like, okay, we'll see how it goes, that they just turned into the worst idea I've ever seen in my life. So... wow. Oh, they actually listed the spell books. I just don't give a shit. Slight revision there at the end. Anyway, I got shit to do, so let me know what you think about this, and I'll see you guys next video.